Dysfunctional parenting styles as a socio-economic factor impacting on a learner's progress and learning in the classroom as well as on overall development. A dysfunctional family is characterized by constant conflict and ongoing problems, abuse, and often neglect or abuse by one or both parents toward the children. Children who grow up in these families can assume that these conditions are normal. In many cases, dysfunctional families result from two adults, one of whom is very abusive and the other of whom is codependent. They also suffer from substance abuse, addiction, and untreated mental illness. Parents who grew up in poor families tend to punish or imitate their parents. Sometimes the first parent abuses or neglects their child, while the other parent stays silent and the child believes they are at fault. How the dysfunctional parenting styles impact on learning and development of the child. Cold parenting. Cold parenting refers to a parenting style that is emotionally distant, unresponsive, or detached. Parents who exhibit cold parenting tend to provide less warmth, affection, and support, often focusing more on discipline or meeting basic needs than on the emotional connection. Here are some key characteristics and the potential impact on children, particularly in a classroom setting. Characteristics of cold parenting. Emotional unavailability. Parents may be physically present but emotionally distant, offering little comfort, validation, or empathy, and the child's emotions may be dismissed, ignored, or minimized, leaving the child feeling misunderstood or unimportant. High expectations with low support and lack of affection. Parents may set strict rules or high standards but provide little guidance or encouragement and limited expression of love such as hugs, praise, or verbal affirmations. Minimal communication. Conversations may be functional and transactional with little effort put into understanding the child's feelings or thoughts.
Dysfunctional parenting style impacting children in the classroom. Emotional withdrawal. Children of co-parent may struggle to express emotions or form close relationships with peers and teachers. They may appear aloof, shy, or distant, avoiding emotional connection out of fear of rejection. Low self-esteem. Lack of emotional affirmation at home can lead to feeling of inadequacy. These children may have a negative self-concept and be less likely to take risks or participate actively in class. They may avoid challenging tasks, fearing failure or criticism. Poor social skills. These children may have difficulty understanding and responding to social cues due to limited emotional modeling at home. Struggles with cooperation, sharing, and conflict resolution may make group activities and teamwork challenging. Anxiety or depression. Co-parenting can result in feeling of loneliness and sadness, leading to increased anxiety or depressive tendencies. This may manifest as difficulty focusing, frequent absence to engage in classroom activities.
We have four possible interventions in the classroom. Number one is fostering emotional safety, which is teachers can create a warm and supportive environment by offering consistent encouragement, praise, and empathy. Number two, building trust and one on one support. which is establishing predictable routines and showing genuine interest in the child's well being can help build trust, and offering individual attention to these learners can make them feel valued and understood, countering the effects of emotional neglect at home. Number three, providing social skills training, which is structured activities that promote social interactions and emotional learning, can help children improve their peer relationships. The last one is encouraging expression, which is creating opportunities for children to express their feelings through art, writing, or verbal communication, can help them become more emotionally aware.
Permissive parenting impact on the development of the child. Learner will not be self-disciplined. Children in high endowed residences occasion are affected with self-concept and discipline. This poor attention management results in timing, task completion, and deadline meeting. Basic requirements for academic success. Children develop a strong sense of control, authority, and responsibility, and are often self-centered or aggressive. Learning barriers, unreliable study. Over time, most learners have their own study consistency and affect their academic performance. Behavioral issues, attitude, often because these children are used to getting whatever they want, they tend to have a bad attitude towards teachers whenever they told no, which often leads to the child having difficulties respecting authorities. Effect of work on class participation, learner engagement. An unengaged learner just passing through classes without being able to both listen and contribute during class discussions, thus losing out on valuable aspect of collaborative learning. No initiative. When you do not have a history of setting and reaching goals, your growth is limited because you are afraid to take action to seek help. Discuss the role of the teacher to deal with the barrier by rendering support. Creating a supportive classroom environment. Teachers can establish a safe and nurturing classroom atmosphere that encourages open communication and trust. This environment is crucial for learners who may feel isolated due to family issues. According to Pianta 1999, positive teacher learner relationships are linked better to academic and social outcomes for learners facing adversity. Building strong relationships. By developing trusting relationships with learners, teachers can better understand their individual needs and challenges. A strong bond can help learners feel valued and understood, which is especially important for those dealing with difficulties at home. Providing emotional support. Teachers can offer emotional support by actively listening to learners and validating their feelings. This approach helps learners feel heard and understood, contributing to their emotional well being, as stated by Jennings and Greenberg, 2009. Emotional support classroom environment can enhance learners' ability to cope with stress and adversity. Effect of work on class participation, learner engagement. An unengaged learner just passing through classes without being able to both listen and contribute during class discussions, thus losing out on valuable aspect of collaborative learning. No initiative. When you do not have a history of setting and reaching goals, your growth is limited because you are afraid to take action to seek help.
Elaborate on resources that can be found in the community and school environment to aid teacher as means to render support. Firstly, school-based resources, school counselors or psychologists. Teachers can refer learners to school counselors or psychologists for strategies to handling stress and trauma. School counselors and psychologists are necessary to help learners who are struggling with trauma or stress from home. They offer counseling and social emotional learning strategies, helping learners to cope with challenges in a structured way. Counselors teach learners to cope with strategies that enable them to manage the stress and anxiety that stem from their home environment. Social workers. Teachers and social workers can collaborate to create strategies that address the holistic needs of learners. A school social worker bridges the gap between home and school, whether in a crisis or leadership role, with family counseling to automatically break cycles of instability in the lives of learners from unstable environment. They identify needs and assess family situation and provide emotional support. Secondly, we have community based resources, namely local area nonprofits and services for the health of the local community. With local area nonprofits, educators have the option to direct learners and their families to these organizations for assistance with emotional support as well as practical necessities like food, shelter, and after school care. The Boys and Girls Clubs or other mentorship programs are some of the places where at risk learners can find safe spaces outside from school where they get emotional support, receive a tutoring. These organizations are often called upon to provide needed support in the lives of children when dysfunctional may exist within families. And lastly, with services for the health of the local community, teachers can establish connections with these resources and link families to the support they require. Mental health facilities, support centers for families, and community health workers frequently provide affordable or no cost assistance to families coping with dysfunction, such as a counseling for domestic violence, addiction, or other difficulties.